Good evening, everybody. I am the Warrior Queen, and tonight we're welcoming Chris, who is part of the charity A Frame of Mind. And we're going to hear about all that, but first, a few quick fire questions to begin with. What's your favorite colour?
My favorite color? Let's see. My wife would probably say blue. I would probably say gray.
Grey.
Yeah.
I've got blue and grey living room.
I love it. See, already it's a great connection.
Yep. Cat or dog?
Dog for sure. I'm allergic to cats.
Oh, I've got 9 of them.
9 cats.
We've got 9.
Wow, that's a lot of lives.
Yeah, we love cats in this house.
Yeah, cats are cute. They're cuddly. Unfortunately, I'm allergic to them, and so is my wife.
Yeah, they're all over my settee at the moment. So.
Oh well. Yeah, we have a dog, and we have for a number of years. So yeah, I'm a little bit partial to the canine.
Yeah, dogs are cute. I will say that.
Yeah, usually when they're puppies.
If money was no object, where would you live?
Oh, good question. If money was no object, it's going to have to be someplace really nice and warm. I'm thinking the Caribbean. Maybe the Dominican Republic.
Cool. See, if money was no object, I'd have 2 houses. One in, say, Australia for half the year, and then somewhere nice and cool in the winter.
Yeah.
Then again,
it's a good balance. Well, I'm from Canada, obviously. Well, maybe not obviously. I am from Canada, for those that don't know. And where I live in Canada, we certainly get our fair share of snow. And I really don't like the winter. So I'm happy to be just about anywhere. Now, I love ice hockey, of course, being one of Canada's national sports. But no snow for me. If I could get away from it, I definitely would.
Oh no, you've got to have snow at Christmas. Let the kids build a snowman.
Yeah, you have a very good point. That is true. That is definitely true.
Yeah. And finally, my favourite question that all the other Warriors seem to steal or say that they're doing it in honour of me. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
I personally do not like pineapple on pizza, but maybe perhaps a little known fact that pineapple pizza was actually invented in Chatham, Kent, Ontario, in Canada, which is where I live.
Cool. I didn't know that. So that's a fact for you all.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So before we talk about the charity work, I want to know, who is Chris?
Yeah, good question. So maybe a quick little background. I have 2 amazing daughters. One is currently away at school. She's studying business, and she's actually in the U.S. Away at school. My youngest is in elementary school, and this past Thursday, I just celebrated our 15th wedding anniversary.
Well done.
So yeah, thank you very much. A lot of hard work by my wife, without question. Clearly the glue that keeps me together. Yeah. And outside of that, I have, I don't know. I just a normal kind of Joe, I suppose. I mean, I enjoy lots of types of things, very much into sports. Of course, again, hockey. I watch a lot of American football, so not soccer, which I know is huge over in England and in Europe predominantly. And I paint. Maybe not the world's greatest painter, but I certainly enjoy painting. And something that for me that has really helped in the last couple of years, as some of my own sort of therapy in dealing with my own mental health, diagnosis and some of the daily challenges that I, like many others, certainly go through. So, that's about it. we live in a pretty small, relatively small community, so everybody is either related to or knows everybody else.
Cool. So obviously we know about you starting a Frame of Mind charity, but before we get even deeper into that, I want to know what mental health problems have you had, and what does mental health mean to you?
Yeah, really good question. So for me personally, um, whether I wanted to admit it really or not, I have struggled with, mental health, depression, and anxiety for the majority of my life,
Yeah.
going well back into my mid-teens. Uh, I won't give away exactly how old I might be. You can guess if you'd like, but that's easily 30 years ago. Um, and I think for me it was really just well beyond that feeling of sadness, right? And things like depression is well beyond just feeling sad or feeling down and feeling blue. uh, I've heard it described really as a real loss of hope. And I think that really is the big thing. It's really when you reach a point in your life for whatever reason, external factors, maybe it's biological, that you lose this sort of sense of yourself, and really any hope for anything really positive in your life, whether it's at that moment or the way that you foresee things in the future. So for me, it's been something that I've really battled, for for more than half of my life. Uh, you know what really what really turned the corner for me, uh, in terms of facing more head on what I was dealing with. I can't even really say it wasn't one particular moment. It wasn't one specific incident. I just had finally reached a point, where it was just complete and utter. I was isolating more frequently. I was spending less direct time with my spouse and with my family, and I would go through these patterns, right? I would go through these sort of cycles of doing that, so a lot of self isolation, a lot of spending time with just me, and really trying to do something else so that I could just break away from a lot of the negative thinking patterns that I had. And it took me a long time. I just before we came on air, or no, I was mentioning, sorry, that I just celebrated 15 years of marriage, and courageously, my wife had dealt with a lot of those episodes. I would get angry quickly, not physically or violently, but those sort of short, sort of outbursts of just a sort of angry responses, and especially when it was things that I just didn't want to deal with anymore. I think I was just really reaching a point where I didn't want to have the responsibility of making decisions. I didn't want to be bothered with people. I didn't want to interact, and it really started to isolate me even further. Especially when you have this fear inside that you don't quite measure up
Mm.
to your surroundings or the people in your surroundings. Um, and I'd always seemed to think that the life I was presenting to people, the person who I thought I was, or that I wanted them to think that I was very fake, and I felt very fake. And I had come to understand through therapy that things like an imposter syndrome is a very real thing. Where you build up over time a lot of that negative thinking process, and you really start to feel and believe, while it's not true, but you start to believe what you tell yourself. And for me, that ended up you know feeling like I was living a lie about again, who I thought I was, what my career meant to me, feeling like I didn't belong within, the group of folks that I had interacted with because I never felt like I quite lived up to things that they achieved and accomplished, right? And I think that's the essence of depression. It lies to you. It really does, and it chips away and it eats at your confidence, and it really does make you feel whether it's true or not, right? It's your own internal perceptions that you are somehow unworthy, that you are not good enough, that you are not qualified, that you're not as capable, and those things over time build up. And when you're already feeling, some of those things, it becomes a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? You start to live and act in a way that unfortunately reconfirms a lot of those negative thoughts. And it really wasn't until I reached my breaking point, and I went to see my doctor, and started going through the process of getting to a psychiatrist, and getting into therapy, and having weekly sessions, to talk about a lot of those underlying things, and really went through a process. So that's really it. It's a scary thing, right? Of course, there's a lot of confusion. I can remember, plenty of times at work where, I would start second guessing the quality of the work that I was doing, or, I just didn't feel like I was living up to those expectations. And, here, you've got, you internalize our own male stigmas of, being the breadwinner, right? And, just that very masculine, like I can't show those emotions, and I can't feel the things that I knew that I was feeling, and I didn't really know and understand how to express them. In 20 plus years of being with my spouse, I think the first time she had ever had actually seen me cry, was the day she drove me to the doctor. And I was, it's a bit of a tough moment to relive, but, on the drive, which was about 20 minutes from where we live, I felt like I couldn't face her. I felt embarrassed and ashamed, and I remember sitting in the room waiting for the doctor to come in, and for a lack of nothing to say, it was just this emotional release, and it was very, very odd for me because that's not who I thought I was. Right, I was much tougher and much stronger and far more rigid than that. And that really started my journey, to a place of, some better understanding. I've learned a lot of different things through the course of my own therapy. And then, of course, reaching out and meeting other folks, has certainly been a part of that positive reconnection, that positive journey and change. So that's kind of it in short. What is mental health? Maybe to answer the question, I think everybody goes through those days where they feel really uplifted and feel really good, and the sun's really, really bright, and they're just having a glorious day. They hear, the animals outside, and they can, have a real sense of, they can smell things, right? Things smell good, and it looks good, and it just feels good. When you are not in a place of really positive or healthy mental health, those things are really absent, right? Things look very gray. Things taste very bland. The things around you go very slowly, and everything is it's just off. And that's the essence, again, of depression, right? It really takes all of those great and wonderful things that, most folks get an opportunity to take for granted every day. Depression as an illness really robs you of experiencing that, even on the best days, where again the sun is really shiny and bright and warm, and can do all kinds of wonderful things for you. You just don't have an ability to see past it.
Yeah. And you know what? That's a brilliant answer. That because obviously at the minute it's mental health isn't a one size fits all thing. It's it's different for one person than it is from a different person to a different
Mhm,
person, I should say. So it can mean a variety of things to one person, then
mhm.
something completely different to another person, and that it's okay to have your own opinion.
Yeah, that's a great statement, right? We're human society is very, very good at putting things into boxes, labeling, compartmentalizing. Uh, but your mental health, my mental health, while we might be able to say in any particular moment, that I am in a positive place, yes, absolutely looks very different than a peer or a colleague sitting right next to me, right? And it does mean different things to different people, and it's a sliding scale, right? Every day it's a sliding scale, and by person it's also a sliding scale. So it's not something I feel that you can really label and say definitively, you fit in this particular category, right, or this particular box. We have to start taking a much bigger look and a much bigger viewpoint of what mental health is.
Yeah, because my view on mental health is it's either your best friend or your worst enemy. So, best friend, I mean, by it can help you transform your life into a better person, and you learn from being down in that dark place. Well, from my perspective, I did anyway. I was in a
Yeah.
dark place, and I learned what my strengths are. I learned what my weaknesses are, but I also learned more about myself as a person. And I was able to stand back up and say, "I want to change my life," and this
hmm
is me on my new journey now. I'm a warrior.
I love it, and kudos to you, right? I too, I think fit that same similar kind of motif. Um, you can loathe while you're in a poor mental health state, or you can, do some of the things. It's not easy, right? Every day, as you know, it's a
Yeah,
grind. Every moment is a grind. Um, but I think what turned the point for me, and from what I hear from a lot of other people, is getting to that realization that it's a sickness. Uh, Being in poor mental health is not a choice, and for so many people, it is a true illness. And I think we've all heard about comparing it to things like, look, if I broke my leg, nobody would question that my leg is broken. But tell them I have anxiety, and all they see you do all day is shake people's hands and smile and say, "What the heck, man? You have nothing to be anxious about." Or tell them that you have depression, and they're like, "But you're always so happy. You're so enthusiastic."
yeah,
And what a lot of people don't realize is that's the facade, right? That is me in my case. That's me hiding because I am so afraid to let people in, to really let them know, that you take it to that opposite extreme, and a lot of that is driven by insecurities too.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I really strongly agree with what you're saying.
yeah, yeah. Because obviously, the other side, um, with it being your worst nightmare is you can really be ashamed of the labels that are attached to you and ashamed to let other people know it, like you've just mentioned. You're scared to let people in, and you basically put a mask out. Basically put a mask there.
Yeah,
Yeah, and obviously not let people see the real you.
that's exactly it. Beautiful way of putting it. Right there, there is that. It's terrifying, right, to really let people see who you are, or at least what you think that you are. Because again, as I've started to learn, and with the help of my therapists and some very supportive people around me, Um, it strains the way the mind works, yes, of course. But what you think you are is often not really what you are, and it doesn't necessarily represent either who you are.
Yeah. We're going to backtrack a little bit because we did actually have a
Yeah,
question.
sure.
When you were speaking about sports, if you had a
Yeah.
choice of a football team to support in England, who would it be?
I'm sure I'm not going to make anyone happy here, and I'm going to be the first to admit that I don't watch a lot of international soccer, but uh, only because I hear this name a lot, and I believe you have to say it properly. So it's Manchester United, not Man U. Uh, if I'm right, is that correct? And someone's shaking their head saying, "No, you're picking the wrong team."
Yeah,
Oh, this is a battle.
you picked the wrong team.
Oh, oh,
You
please
got it
forgive me.
right. You got it right.
Okay,
It's Manchester United. But
okay,
they're, they're my arch enemies because I'm a Liverpool
uh,
fan.
okay, fair enough.
Well,
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, I once dated a guy. I didn't know he was a Man United fan. He told me he was a Man United fan, and I finished him on the spot. Just because you're a Man United fan, mate. Bye.
Yeah, yeah, okay. I
Can't do
can
that.
understand that. Yeah,
Huh?
I can understand that
Yeah.
respectfully.
My shortest ever relationship, 24 hours.
Beautiful. Well, I'll tell you what. I make you a promise that I will look up some Liverpool history, and I will do a little bit to pay more attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Ditch the Man United, be a Liverpool fan, and you'll be all right.
Okay, I've been told from an expert, so I'll take you at your word.
We're a better club than Man United anyway, so
Even better, even better.
yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to put it out there, the only reason Man United are in the news at the minute is because of Ronaldo.
Yeah, a
He's
huge
just a
name.
diva.
Yeah, yeah,
He's just
yeah.
a diva.
Carries across. Well, when you're making millions of dollars, I suppose it affords you some luxuries, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but then when a guy like him, somebody will kick the ball at him, and
Mhm.
it'll hit him in the head, and he'll want to go off and sort his hair out for the next hour, and ask the referee to pause the game
Yeah,
for him because he's such a
yeah.
diva. I,
You
I can't
have to be pretty.
I can't stand
Yeah.
Ronaldo. I can't stand the guy. I really can't. Anyway, back to mental health.
Okay.
Yep. Um, Get it out of my system, Kerry. Get it out. Don't come on. Don't come on the show and speak to me if you're a Man United fan. Go and speak to Steve. He's the Man United fan.
Okay. Okay. As long as we can all still get along at the end of the day.
Of course we can. Anyway, opinions aside, football aside, back to mental health. Tell me how you started a frame of mind.
Yeah. Quite literally, these things happen by accident. So I may have mentioned that I enjoy painting.
Mm-hmm.
I am not an artist, by any cause of the imagination. It's just something that I enjoy doing. Um, and so, as I was saying, part of something that I learned was this thing called self care,
Yeah,
and it's not like some people enjoy bubble baths, right? Some people, will see their own personal self care as just being able to find those moments to do something for yourself, right? Sometimes that's a little bit of indulgence. So it really can be anything for me. It was a bit of an expressive way to, just get out some of the feelings, right, that I was feeling. And so, I found that in painting. I was off of work for, quite a long stretch of time, as I was going through, sort of the worst of my depression. And I was home, all day rather alone. My wife worked, my daughter, again, away at school. And during the day, I really had nothing to do with myself. I started watching, videos and YouTube and, some of these things just to pass some of the time away.
Yeah.
And frankly, from my youth, I remember, and I think everybody has heard the name Bob Ross. I ended up stumbling across some old Bob Ross painting videos that used to be on PBS here in Canada and certainly in the U.S. as well. And somebody from my youth that I was fascinated by, that you could paint a full picture in 26 minutes uncut and unedited. And that really sort of started the journey. So I started painting more and more often and more frequently. And as I personally became a little bit more healthier and was kind of building back some of that confidence, just my own personal self confidence, I had so many people that supported me, that helped me, and people that I'd never met before. I became very, very good friends with a fella, in fact, that lives in the UK. Only by happenstance, right through Twitter, and he's become a very dear friend to me, and has really, it's one thing, and I would say this: it's one thing to have a therapist and have the professional, support, vital, and it's critical to have that. But sometimes, as a man, the therapists that I had were all females, and wasn't always necessarily comfortable in saying all the things that I knew that I needed to say to get out. So this fella, this person, gave me that sort of secondary resource. Right, he was another guy that had also dealt with depression in his life. We just had a really nice connection, and you know he gave that to me willingly. Somebody that had similar experiences, and through the kindness of his, God bless his heart, was there for me to fire things off to, through Twitter, through email. He didn't have to do that, and nor did he have to respond always as quickly as he did. And I figured, here's somebody that went through his own personal mental health battle. He's come out relatively positively on the other side, and he was giving me some of his words of experience and the things that he has dealt with. And I just continued to think about me in that sort of year process. Someday I'm going to return the favor. Someday I'm going to be that person that he was for me. Uh, because I would say, quite honestly and quite literally, that one of three people in my life, and a person I've never physically met, and I've only ever talked through email and through Twitter, virtually saved my life.
Yeah.
And I think that's important, right, to understand. And so one of those messages for me that I want to carry forward is share your story, please. If you can ever find the courage to share your story, you absolutely will save the next life in line. Um, it might take one kind word, one kind gesture, one kind thought. But that might be the one thing that next person in line needs to get them through.
Yeah.
And so that's what started me down this journey. I wanted to find a way to give back. I had met so many fantastic people, through outreach of my own, that I wanted to find a way that what were some of the things that I could do to engage people, to tell a story, to help tell my story, to help educate, to be an advocate for, and we just decided, hey, well, let's get a website, right? Like, I've got these paintings. I know some other people that are amateur painters like myself, and I know a few people that are professional painters that that do very, very well. How can I give back, right? How can I do my part to save that next person, right? Because I wanted to tell my story, and so we created the website, and so we called it A Frame of Mind. Obviously, that represents more than just the painting. It really is a metaphor to how we choose to see things. And when you are in a poor mental health state, you don't always see things very clearly. We talked about how gray and how muddy things tend to be, and your cognitive abilities and your reasoning is very cloudy, right? So I wanted to use that as a leaping point to say, we can work on how you see things, and if we stop and take a moment to see it differently, and we can bring together like-minded people that are willing to share their stories, we can start this process of educating and advocating, and maybe we can use what helped me, which is painting and art. We can use that as a bit of a launch pad for other people that might enjoy similar things. So it doesn't have to be painting, but art in any form is expressive, whether you sing, whether you dance, whether you paint, whether you draw, whatever the case might be. And so use that, right? We have those gifts internally, and we can use that for some of our own self-care, as a way of releasing, some of the things that we hold on too tightly on the inside. And it sort of has grown from there. So I paint, we put things up on our website, we share artwork that has been either one donated or just want to be shown from other artists. And it doesn't matter, there's no cost, right? We do this completely for free. We will we will put on your artwork, we will put it in our digital gallery. It is there to stay, unless you want it to come off. But we also have, folks that have contributed writing as an art form, right? So they write poetry. We put that on our website also. And, all of this is really dedicated to those that are in, well, the mental health community, right? Those like me, like you, like others, like folks watching. We find that it gives people a little bit of a purpose and something to look forward to. And of course, it's always pleasant when you get recognized and people make positive comments about the things that you do. The fantastic thing is that nobody judges. It literally could be a mark on a piece of paper, and that's what drives you, and that's what you love and like. And we're here just to give you that place to express yourself. And we want you to know that there are a lot of other people just like you, just like me, that sometimes need a little bit of help and a little bit of support. And we want to be able to return the favor. So we started the website with a bit of a mission to use art as a way of expression, to showcase some of the gifts that a lot of those with mental health have that really go unnoticed or unused, either because they're own self-conscious, because maybe they don't feel like it's very good, or whatever the case might be. We wanted to provide a space and a place for them to do that, to be able to share. We want to be able to promote their healthy activities, and give them the recognition that they certainly deserve.
Yeah, you know what? I'm brilliant, and it sounds amazing what you're doing, and I certainly want to look into what you do more. I've only had a brief look at what you're doing before the show. So I'll definitely be having another look. Dorota, our creative warrior, she's an artist at the moment. She does brilliant paintings. She has a show on a Saturday mornings.
Okay.
That goes out 9:00 every Saturday. She's absolutely amazing. And then we've got Dale Walsh. He's a poetic warrior. And he likes doing poems. So that's something else to watch out for. He's starting his own show on the 28th.
Fantastic.
Figuring out a name for him at the moment. So
sure.
Yeah. So that's something to watch out for in the future.
I absolutely look forward to it. Of course, we are on social media as well. So we are always looking for, other folks that we can help retweet or, share Facebook posts or Instagram posts. So again, we like to do that type of stuff, because we want to be involved, and we really do enjoy, being able to be some of that background, even if it's quiet support, to like the folks you've just mentioned. If there's anything that you feel we can do that it helps push that message out, right? That's what we want to do. Feel free to look us up on any of the social media platforms and drop us a line. Please say hi. We make it a point to make sure that we respond to absolutely everybody. And there is no artwork in any form that, I mean, of course, unless it's, taboo, but there is good or bad. Um, we accept all forms of art, and we are happy to, give you a space and a place to showcase that. So for any of the viewers that are out there, if you would like, you certainly can find us on the internet, and we would be honored to show and to demonstrate and to put up in our digital art gallery your work. We would be happy to do that.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't want mine because I can just do like a couple of lines on a piece of paper, and that's about it. I'm rubbish at drawing.
No, nobody is bad at art. It's only what we see, right?
Yeah. No, well, how would you recommend somebody get into drawing? So is there like types of videos on maybe YouTube that they can watch?
Yeah, YouTube is a fantastic resource. There are thousands and thousands of videos for aspiring artists. Everything from doing simple line drawings to teaching you how to shade, that give you instruction on, understanding color mixing if you're into that type of, thing, understanding, light and how it works and its reflective properties and those kinds of things. Yeah, absolutely. YouTube is a wonderful resource, from pure beginners that, feel they can only draw stick people, to, very, very advanced, well seasoned artists. You can find all kinds of tips and techniques, and I use it quite frequently. So my go-to place, 100%, is head over to YouTube. There are a few people that I follow that also, do more specific, detailed, instructive videos that use like Patreon as an example, and for very low cost. It's like having an art teacher right beside you. Um, which is pretty brilliant. So those are the first two places I would certainly recommend. And just search up something that you might be interested in. Maybe it's abstract, maybe it's landscape, maybe it's realism. Who knows? You might get into one style of art, find that you really enjoy something else, instead. So experiment. This is what art's really about, right? It's about experimentation, and don't worry about what other people think, right? This is the other beautiful synergy between what I think mental health is and, the connection to art. Uh, we worry so much about how we think or believe others perceive us, and we internalize it, right, an awful lot. So again, art as being a way for me to, express some of those things that I didn't know how to verbalize or really articulate well. I've experimented. I've used colors that look like rubbish together, but nobody had to see it. It was just my way of getting stuff out, right? So use art. If you can draw stick people, you would be surprised that if you were to use something like, yeah, you know what? You can use. There's all kinds of free programs out there where you can draw stick people, and it will, with a few clicks, it will actually animate. That, and it's a fun little thing to do, right? And you'll spend 20 minutes on it, but you're not thinking about all the, things that you feel are wrong in your life, right? That's self-care. Take care of yourself for 20 minutes, right? Do something for you for 20 minutes a day, right? That's the message we're trying to give, and that's what we can do with art.
Yeah, and you know what? That's a brilliant message. Personally, I take about 10 minutes every day to myself, and then on Saturdays I go shopping for a couple of hours. That's my self-care. I go out.
That's right. Absolutely right. We get so used to, I think, for me, I guess, and in my case, I would share that I was basically, I did not go anywhere for about 2 years, quite literally.
Yeah.
I maybe went out of my house 5 times, not including going to doctor visits, and that's it.
Yeah. We've got a question off Adam. How was your first appearance on Warrior TV?
Delightful, absolutely delightful.
Brilliant. And will you be subscribing and sharing our videos?
Without question, 100% yes.
Brilliant. That's always good to know. Because currently we are reaching 10,000 people a month, and now our aim is 20,000. Might take us a bit longer to get to 20,000, but that's the next goal.
Yeah. Again, anything that I can do, right, with partners, to share stories and to be an advocate for, that's what we're here for, right? We are all in this together. Mental health is a global crisis. It's not something that only, our European friends and our Canadian friends and our American friends face. Mental health is something that affects over 50% of the world's population.
Yeah. Actually, we're doing some homework with my son earlier today. He's doing a fact file on mental health for school. And we were doing a little bit of research just to help him. And we actually found out that in the world, there's 792 million people living with mental health. So you are certainly not alone. There's 792 million people out there that are all in similar positions to you.
Such a fantastic point, right? One, you are not alone at all. And 790 million other people
2 million, yeah.
do not put you in a minority either. In fact, we probably could argue that on any given day, mental health and those that suffer with any form to any degree of mental health are actually the majority. So you are not alone in this. You are not by yourself. To your point, 790 million people globally. I would say that we are much more in the majority than we think we are. And the sooner and the quicker we can normalize mental health and some of the more acute conditions, the more awareness we can create, the more and more people will feel empowered and confident, to tell their story and to say, what, I am normal. I'm not broken, and I'm no longer ashamed of what and who I am. And that's across the board, right? That is globally across the board.
Yeah, exactly. There's no such thing as normal. Everybody is their own unique person. Normal doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. Everybody has their quirks. Everybody has their faults. Nobody's perfect. What will be. But the fact that you've got mental health problems, you're not alone. It's okay not to be okay. And there's always somebody out there ready to listen to you. Not judge you, just to sit there and listen to you, and then maybe offer some advice. Maybe like go and speak to a therapist or a counsellor, or go and speak to your GP.
You got it.
Yeah, and there'll always be somebody out there that's ready to listen. And as always, the mental health warriors saying #never quit.
Never quit. I absolutely love it, and you're bang on, right? There are so many things that we are capable of doing. Not just myself, not just you, but everybody. Whether you see it in yourself right now at this very moment or not, there are so many great things inside of each of you, inside of each of us, and if we are just willing to take 1 inch step closer to that and destigmatize what mental health is and what it isn't, I think we're going to start moving into a much better place and get folks, the services and the help and the support that they need and that they require. But again, you make a fabulous point. It's understand you are not alone in this. You are not alone, and there are absolutely people that want to listen, that want to hear, and that are willing to support.
Yep. Yeah. Well, thank you, Chris, for coming on to Warrior TV. Please don't be a stranger, and please come back at any time.
I thank you for that open invitation. I think that your program and what you're doing is fantastic. It is absolutely lovely. It's clearly having an impact. So congratulations to you and your group and your volunteers. And thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a really great conversation. I really look forward to seeing more of what you guys do. And once I get subscribed later today, I will do my homework and catch up on episodes that I've missed. I also said that I would check into Liverpool because I'm going to have to just do that now. And I certainly look forward to staying connected with you as well. And hopefully there's more chance of collaboration in our future together.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely link you up with Dorota and Dale. They're more into art than me and Adam are. But you know what? Inspiration, because I've been a bit of inspiration from you, I'm going to buy himself a little pad and some pencils, and I'm going to try and draw something.
That's it, right? Get on YouTube.
I'm going to try and draw
something. Yeah. And again, start simple, right? Start simple and take your time with it. If you don't like it, crunch it up into that little ball and don't even worry about it, right? Just toss it in the can. You can start over. And hopefully you'll have some courage to share that with us someday.
Yep. If it's any good, I'll certainly share it with you.
I love
speaking of you catching up with content we're putting out, tomorrow morning, coffee morning, 11 o'clock, there isn't a topic sorted out yet. Adam needs to actually sort that one out very quickly, actually. And then tomorrow at 1 p.m, I'm introducing our new spiritual warrior to Warrior TV. I'll be speaking to her at 1 o'clock. And then our spiritual warrior is jumping on again, this time with Adam at 8 p.m. tomorrow. So we've got 3 videos for you to enjoy tomorrow. Please do tune in, say hi to us, subscribe and share. And as always, #neverquit. Thank you, Chris, for coming on.
I love it. And thanks again for inviting me on.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.